Hi, everyone. I'm Marco Gonzalez. Welcome to On the Couch Live. I'm so glad you're with me today. It's going to fix the lighting just a little bit there. Well, I'm so excited to have my friend Thomas Roberts on. We originally were scheduled for Monday, but he works for the Daily Mail TV, and they had breaking news that happened about an hour before we were going to go live. So, hey, things change. I was in the news business for years, so I get it. When breaking news happens, whoosh, you got to make some changes. So, no problem. I am so glad that we're joining him today. He's actually joining us from the set of Daily Mail TV, so I can't wait to talk to him about all of the changes that have happened in his life. As you know, we spoke months ago on the show here, and so lots has changed, and so that's very exciting. I hope all of you have had a great week so far. We're midway through, and as I always mention, my kids are homeschooling, distant learning, as they call it. So they're in their rooms now. So, they come out. You never know what's going to happen. They may need help with the Zoom. We've had that the signal crash a couple times so far today. So just roll with me here, people. It's like reality TV at my own house. It's a little crazy. But blue skies outside. So we should be thankful for that. So as far as Thomas Roberts, just some background on him. He's done so many things. He was a news anchor for MSNBC. He was an anchor for CNN. He was a host of The Insider. So many things, many successes. And, he's talked a lot about his personal life. And I think people have really appreciated that. He's very authentic and true to himself. Just a great guy. So I can't wait to hear about all his exciting news. He and his partner, Patrick, they were living in Atlanta. So now, the show, Daily Mail TV, is taped in New York. So that meant lots of changes for them. They had to move areas and get a new place. And, with a new job, there's so many things that you have to get used to. So, it's always an adjustment there. In fact, one of the executive producers of Daily Mail TV, I used to work with him, Jeffrey Wilson. I don't know if you're watching, Jeffrey. We used to work together at Access Hollywood 21 years ago when I started as an intern. And I was the intern who was taking notes, and he was the field producer. He was so nice to let me come along. I was just kind of like, wide-eyed and, oh my gosh, this is crazy. And I would just take notes for him when he'd do interviews with all of the celebrities. And he was always so kind to me. And how lucky Thomas gets to work with Jeffrey and a number of other people that I know. So somebody wrote there, Jeffrey is the best. Hey, that's Alex. Hey, Alex, how are you? Yeah, so yes. Oh, yeah, that's right. He used to be an intern at The Insider as well. So, we have a lot of the similar connections, with people at Entertainment Tonight, The Insider, Daily Mail TV. I feel like the entertainment community is kind of, they're all a family. We all know each other for years. I mean, I can't believe it's been 21 years. That is insane. I've talked about it before. After I worked at Access Hollywood, I went on to local news, and I was a morning news anchor and a reporter for stations all over Arizona, Texas, Palm Springs, and then I ended up at KTLA as a reporter. And ironically, KTLA 5 is where the Daily Mail TV airs. I hope you've had a chance to watch it. It's really cool. It's just kind of a mix of entertainment, human interest. It's really cool. So we'll talk to Thomas about that as well. Thomas has joined, everyone. Let me bring him in.
Hey,
Thomas.
hi. Sorry, I've got logged out of the IGTV thing, and so I've been scrambling to get back in. Hi.
Hey, no worries. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm good. You guys wrap for the day?
Kind of, sort of. We just had the Breonna Taylor news come down out of Kentucky, so we are doing updates for the feed, for the late afternoon feed, and I'm going to put in, if you don't mind, put in my earbuds real fast.
Oh, good. Live.
So we are updating things for the first feed and the second feed. So it's kind of a little bit hectic right now, but the a decision came out roughly about 25 minutes ago, 30 minutes ago. So it gave us enough time to do what we needed to do. And is
Okay.
this all right? Can you hear me with these earbuds in?
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you. Do you want to
Okay.
elaborate on that breaking news, or do you want to say that?
No, no. Where the Louisville,
Uh-oh.
the
There we go.
death of Breonna Taylor 6 months ago, where the police had a no-knock warrant with her address on it because they believe that an ex-boyfriend of hers may have used her home to hide drugs. That wasn't the case, but they had her address and they had a no-knock warrant, which means that they can kind of bust in unannounced, although they said they did say it's police and knock. They were startled, of course. The person that Breonna was seeing at the time, her boyfriend, is licensed, and they thought it was a home invasion. So he took a shot. Well, they returned fire, and all three of the officers that were there for that incident returned fire, killing Breonna Taylor, who was hit some 5 times. So it took 6 months to get this far, and basically the grand jury came down with wanton endangerment, 3 charges. There are no homicide, there's no manslaughter, there's no true death charge, in terms of legality in our American system,
Right.
that these officers are being held to. 1 officer out of 3 is facing 3 charges for wanton endangerment.
Wow, that's going to have a lot of people talking. That's for sure.
Well, I mean, they've already activated the National Guard. They're in place and have been in place because of protesters. Marco, protesters have been there for over 100 days.
Mm-hmm.
Since this became a bigger story because of what happened with George Floyd and kind of this intersection of news coverage. It's not very often that we hear about the use of excessive force or police brutality against Black women. We hear a lot about the unfortunate things that have happened in our country and just over the recent past couple of years toward Black men. So to have a Black female lose her life, and she was an EMT, basically a sister of the police force, servicing Louisville, to lose her life in the middle of the night, and to think that police can just bust in your door and shoot you dead, and then it takes 6 months to even try to get some judicial, consequence, and then for that judicial consequence to be this. Yeah, I think it's going to have people talking, and a lot of people are going to be upset that there is not a greater, and not that you want to make an example of people, but you also, you need to realize the loss of life here and the circumstances leading up to it.
Right.
It was very unnecessary.
Yeah, understandably so. They'll be upset about that. We'll be watching your show tonight for the latest details on that. So I do want to switch to you for a minute because, lots of changes for you, Thomas, and I couldn't be happier for you. You
Thanks.
are the host of Daily Mail TV, and talk about a big switch for you. You guys were in Atlanta, you and Patrick. So how was
Right.
the move and getting adjusted to being back on TV for this daily show?
It's been great and crazy and like the best, like the best of best problems that you can have, and trying to figure it all out and solve it. The opportunity presented itself formally late summer, and everything kind of got worked out. I'm really bad at dates, but I want to say Augusty, something, and then it was full steam ahead to figure out how do we do this, how do we wrap up life in Atlanta as we know it and forge back to life in New York as we know it during a pandemic.
Yep.
With Patrick's job in consideration and with the exciting new things that were going to be taking place with me accepting this job and starting season 4, which we launched on the 14th, and we are off like a rocket ship, and it's been great. And it's a really lovely place to work. Patrick made a really good point to me recently about, when I left NBC in 2017, at the end of 2017, it kind of bridged over into 2018.
Mm-hmm.
Up until the very end, I was under the impression I was staying. And it then was revealed to me I wasn't. So there wasn't really going to be a job after that lived up to what the job I had was, you know. Now Atlanta was a great opportunity and a great city, and we have awesome friends there. And the quality of life, the professional choice and situation for me, it just wasn't the right fit, and I was unhappy with it, to the point that I knew I had to make a change, and that's so hard to do. That's so hard to be honest about. You know, to raise your hand and say that, because one, having a job and a good paying job is a privilege, and to decide that it's not the right fit, and that this isn't, you can't see yourself here. It's just not easy to say that, but that's how I felt. And so I had to be honest about it, and take my chances on what that meant. And that meant sitting out for, gosh, a year ago this time is when I left. And
Yeah.
I broke up with my longtime agent of 20 years. And so I was agentless, jobless. And you know, I think about it now, like a year ago. It's kind of liberating, right? As long as it's a year ago.
Yeah.
But now, you know, but then it was like, oh my gosh, what have I done? You know, it was pretty scary. And then to go into the new year, 2020, I think 2020 is going to be the best, right? It's 2020, like it's going to be the best.
Of course.
Only to you know, turn the corner into the new year and take some professional meetings to have, you know, COVID hit, and then kind of turn our lives upside down. So I feel really fortunate, really fortunate to, you know, have my new family here with Daily Mail TV, and I say family because, you know, two of the executive producers are old friends of mine that I've worked with before, one of which I've worked with before, and the other I've known for a long time. And Alicia Quarles, who was our senior correspondent here, worked with me at NBC News for a long time. I found out that Caitlin Becker, one of our reporters, actually was an intern on my show at MSNBC years ago. So I take credit for her whole career, and I'm only going to charge her 5%, not 10%. But it's been really fun. I got to we did a ton of great promo for our launch week. We have this brilliant global chief Svengali of Daily Mail. His name's Sean Walsh, and I think he's probably watching this.
Okay.
But he is the you know, a wonderful colleague, and lined up all these great promotional stops, one of which was the Today Show, another of which was Entertainment Tonight, and these are some old haunts of mine.
Oh, yeah.
And it couldn't have been more fun to return and kind of walk down memory lane, and like E.T. pulled up all these funny old clips.
I saw it.
It was great. And I had forgotten some of the wacky crap I did.
Oh yeah.
And
The Kate Hudson was funny. The Kate Hudson thing was funny.
well, the Kate Hudson thing. So they were doing Fool's Gold, but they
Right.
did a press junket. So that was on so the clip they showed was on the carpet, but it was during the sit down interview with Kate Hudson and Matthew McConaughey. They were side by side, and I was really nervous, but I'm trying to play it off. And so I get into, you know, conversation with them, and we talk about the film, and then I'm finding the in, Marco, for my moment, like when I'm going to get my moment.
Yes.
Because at ET they teach you, you know, get your moment.
Yes.
And I didn't know about moments until I got to ET.
Mm-hmm.
And I figured I was going to make my moment on the rumors about the fact that they don't wear deodorant. and and
Gosh, I can't.
and I mean, we're in this nice hotel for this press junket, and they're sitting side by side. And they're super chummy, and, you know, I just say, Kate, you know, there are rumors. You know, we've heard these about Matthew before, but, you know, but this is new, that you do not wear deodorant because of concerns of what you're absorbing into your body from these things. Is it true that you don't wear deodorant?
Right.
It's like, well, no, I choose not to, and blah, blah, blah. And so then it gets to, can I smell your armpits? You know, it gets to that comfort level. Because Matthew starts leaning over and trying to, like, you know, imitate sniffing her and doing all this stuff, and I'm like, and she's starting to get uncomfortable. I'm like, do you mind if I sniff your armpits? And she's, no, everybody get away from me, leave me alone. This is, you know, not what I expected. Anyway, it was fun.
Nice. Yeah.
And she didn't hit me or like storm out. I mean, she was a very kind and good sport about it all. But it just cracked me up to think, you know, that's where my mind went to try to, My mind went to crazy places trying to
Hey,
make it happen.
when you're
Yeah.
trying to get that moment, you know what I loved? Your buddy from the Today Show, Craig Melvin. He called you, and I love this, the ageless wonder, because you seem to like never age, Thomas. Everyone's like, how does Thomas look like he's reversing in age? You look
I
so
thought you
good.
were going to say, he said, Craig said I was one of his first friends there. I thought you were going to say that was a sweet moment, but did he say that? I didn't hear that.
He did. He called you. You were talking at the time, but he said that, and I was like, it's
Figures. See, I was talking over him. Unfortunately, I couldn't get the return. We didn't have the return monitor so that I could see their shot, and
oh
we have our shot, but
yeah,
I didn't have return to see, and I didn't know that they were all there until later. You know, seeing the shot in a link, but I knew because I could hear their voices, but I couldn't visualize how the setup was. But so when I saw it, it made me feel really good. And we were only supposed to have like 2.5, and they gave us a little over 3. So
yeah.
we
It
got a
was a
little
great.
extra time,
Yeah,
and showboating, it'll work a little bit.
I loved seeing you guys all together. It was so classic. I love that. So I'm curious. You've been in the business for so long, Thomas. What have you learned in how to deal with the ups and downs of this crazy TV business? Just to be patient? Is that basically what it is?
No, I haven't learned anything because it hurts. It hurts it hurts, and I struggle, and I get in my own head every single time about it,
Hmm.
and it creates a lot of self-doubt. And that's the thing in life itself and career passions, because I
Yeah.
feel very fortunate that I've always had a passion for this job and this career. I don't know anything else. I'm not in love with anything else. I'm in love with this, and this is what I want to be doing. And that is a great, a huge motivator, driver for me. And it doesn't matter about the money. It doesn't matter about um, it doesn't really matter about the trappings of it all, as it is the end product and the feeling that I've done some good or I've made a difference. That's what's important to me. Having fun along the way is also important to me.
Yeah.
Um, but no, every time I wish I could say that, yep, I've gotten more with age. I'm a sage, and I sit back and I'm just like, I know the day will come. And no,
Mm.
I bite my nails and I'm worried. I'm, looking at my bank account and Patrick's yelling at me, get a job. And, you know,
Yeah.
it's, you just get in your own head about it. And then you start to doubt uh, where you've been, what you've done,
Right.
things that you've worked hard to earn, you
Yes.
know, worked hard to earn, and that's no fun. Uh, but then the rain stops and rainbows come out and things change. But no, I will never learn that lesson. I will always, you know, kind of pause in the self-doubt space, and maybe people can relate to that. I wish I didn't, you know.
Yeah.
Uh, I wish that there was some magic trick that I could figure out um, to believe a day like this would show up again.
Hmm.
Uh, but it's really hard to see that when you're in that moment. It's hard to remind yourself that you know tough times don't last. Tough people do.
Oh, I love that quote. And you know what? When we talked a couple months ago here on the show, I could tell you were in a different headspace at the time. You didn't have your job, and but you've always been an open book, and that's in a good way. You've talked about things like you came out, you were the first news anchor to come out. You talked about your previous sexual abuse, and people have come forward and said, "Thank you so much for bringing these topics to light because you help them in their personal lives." So that has to make you feel like you've accomplished that and meant something to them.
No, it really does. There was someone who wrote today, who's a news anchor that I
Yeah,
was chatting with and kind of giving some advice to,
yeah.
and saying thank you uh, because you made it, a little bit easier for me in in my journey in this career. Yeah, so in 2006, when I came out and I was at CNN, there was nobody else that was out, and I was
Hmm.
very naive about what it would do or what it would mean uh, for my career because I thought it was such a simple thing to tell the truth. Um, and at that point, at that time, for me, I was tired of secrets and shame, and I wanted to purge myself of all those burdens. Uh, you know, I figured if I was ready for it, then the world has to be ready for it. Because I mean, I was slow to get to that point. So uh, the world just wasn't ready then, you know. And neither were other really talented colleagues. That some worked, you know, with me there in that shop, and others worked across the way in the other shop, and many still have the same positions that they had in 2006 that they reside in today, but they've come out, and slowly but surely, uh, I would hope, you know, it feels better to be personally and professionally integrated. I know it does for me,
Hmm.
because to be a great liar, you have to have a great memory, you know, and
Yep.
it's just it can be too hard on the soul.
Are you going to continue your Gay Good News, which you started over the summer on Facebook Live?
Yes, I mean I've been trying to. Now the priority is Daily Mail TV for me, and the demands are real, and I want to, you know, hit a home run for these guys every day.
Yeah.
But at the same time, that was kind of like a saving grace for me, because I was in a bad headspace, and I had kind of forgotten, lost my way a little bit, um, and then, you know, I had to remind myself about, remember why you started, you know, like just make it that simple. And so Gay Good News was just that, because it was like you know, I started as a one-man band, you know, as a reporter, or you know, the photographer, I'm the editor, I'm the reporter.
Every,
I'm dressed in the suit. I'm carrying a 50-pound, you know, pack on my shoulder, and the 100-pound tripod, sweating to death, and
oh yeah.
you know, and loving every minute of it. This with doing this show, the interviews I did on Zoom, so I would pre-tape interviews, and then with the help of one good friend, Jennifer Kane, from Baltimore, who is a former news producer and now social media maven, uh, helped me with editing to get the content prepared. But I found this desktop app for my Mac that lets you direct and run a show, right? So you just line up your stuff, and then you can, you know, have pre-produced video hits, you know, and pop out of it and fade out of it, and you can have applause, and you can. I mean, it's really fun, and I just loved doing it. It kind of got my juices going, you know,
Oh,
once again.
it was so fun to watch. And you and Patrick are close to celebrating 20 years together. Congratulations on that. What has been
Thank you.
I don't want to say secret, but what's been the recipe to keep you guys going strong?
Um, the recipe,
Yeah.
I don't know, because I mean, we go through our ups and downs, you know, and this move and everything, this time period has been stressful on us. You know, being out of work, being in a job that I didn't like,
Yeah.
losing, you know, the life that I once had at NBC. You know, so I've been, I mean, for lack of, I'm not going to say the word, but I've not been that easy to be around,
Okay.
because uh, I've been I was mourning. It felt like I was mourning, like uh, so much that I felt I had worked for and earned. I somehow let it fly away, and I didn't understand. And so there was a lot of, you know, a deep thought. You know, I'm very good at deep thought and feeling sorry for myself. Um,
I,
uh, so Patrick is great at being a cheerleader, being understanding, being compassionate, being nice. You know, all these, you know, wonderful qualities that I'd like to have someday. Um, he has them, and this great capacity for kind of just being a rock. And so, yeah, we have 20 years coming up on September 30th. That's the day. So the anniversary is a twofold thing, because we met on September 30th, 2000, and then we got married on September 29th, 2012. So we wanted to do it on the 30th that year, but the 30th fell on Sunday, and we had people coming in out of town to New York, so we wanted it to be on a Saturday. So we basically now have a 48-hour window to celebrate. That's uh, the 30th. I mean, the 29th of September is the wedding, and that was great. I highly recommend it to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Do the wedding. It was so fun. But the 30th is I think probably the top anniversary. Yeah. So
Oh,
that'll be 20 years. And
I
we
love
actually have a picture from that day.
you have.
We have a picture from the day we met, and we're sitting side by side in front of this fireplace, and there were other people next to us, but I'm right next to him. It's interesting to see our body language, and I remember that day vividly. And
Was
walking
the first
past
time
Patrick. Yes.
to it? Okay.
It was the weirdest thing because I was living in Norfolk, Virginia. This is the year 2000.
Yeah.
We don't have Facebook. We don't have Instagram. We don't have anything. We've got, maybe Velcro bag phones under our front car seat, and and
The
and
visual. God.
and pens and paper, right? Yeah. So I got invited, and I was just tiptoeing my way out. I have one gay friend. He got invited to some party in North Carolina, Lake Norman, for some guy's going away party. And my mom's here. Love Patrick. He's a wonderful person. Yes, he
Oh, I
is.
see her.
Ditzy Roberts. There she is. The going away party happened to be for Patrick, and I didn't know Patrick. I just knew it was somebody's going away party. I was worried about going, but my friend Barry was like, "It's North Carolina. Like, they don't get wavy TV 10 in down here, all the way down here.
Right.
So don't worry about it. No one's gonna know who you are." So I went, and when I saw Patrick, we passed each other at the first instance was in a hallway of the house where the party was. And I remember his face. He was coming this way, and I was going that way. He just had the best face, really nice smile. And it was like that feeling you have like when you're in grade school and you get like the crush feeling on somebody, and then you're nervous.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Yeah. And, and that is the moment that probably impacted my life for the moment that impacted my life for the better, the best, that I could put my finger on.
Ah, that's awesome. That's awesome. And people are loving your story. I see other people from Brazil joining us. Uh,
Brazilians are the best. We went there for our honeymoon. I
oh,
love Brazil.
so they love you too. Somebody says they want to see you back on Hell's Kitchen, you and Patrick.
We are
Yeah.
in Hell's Kitchen, and maybe that's what they're saying. We
That's,
we we lived in Hell's Kitchen before, and so we get back. Now, when we lived here before, and I worked at 30 Rock, I would bike to work. Super easy. I'd go through the center, through Midtown, through the theater district. Sometimes the wrong way because it was easier to go on the wrong way into oncoming traffic. Bike through the theater crowds when they're letting out. But anyway, I could get to 30 Rock in like 7 minutes. It was great and good exercise, right?
mhm.
And when we got here and we're zooming for real estate tours to figure out where to live, we're doing these Zoom tours, and it's really hard to Zoom tour
Well, because
for
you're like,
real estate. Well,
yeah,
yeah, because you're like this, and not that the real estate agents did this, but they don't have to like turn the camera to the moldy wall or show you
I know what
show
you mean.
you.
You
You
can
know,
afford,
it's like they can avoid things, and you don't get a sense of the street, and you don't get a sense of the hallway or the elevators, or in one building I went into where they had like pictures up of package thieves all over the lobby, and I was like, I don't want to live here. So we looked at all these different spots, and we worked with a wonderful person who was hilarious, but we ended up back in Hell's Kitchen. Found a great place and very happy about it. Now, if I could just figure out how to get to work on time, I think everybody would be happy because my time efficiency in New York, Marco, has slipped.
really.
Um, yes.
Was it a time difference or what was it?
No, it's just New York. New York's different. You got to be faster. You
Hmm.
got to be smarter. You got to also be a pack mule because you can't forget anything. You got to take it all with you when you go. And getting around COVID in New York is a little different than before. And I got a little spoiled in Atlanta having a car. Master of my own destiny.
Yeah, I get it.
Now I'm I'm Ubering everywhere. I mean, I had to call the Uber man back today because I left something in the Uber.
Oh, no.
Um, yeah. that he was taking over to Flushing. He sat over here. I thought this was the other passengers
Oh,
thing. Anyway, it worked out, so I got it back. But
yeah.
that's it's New York. You just gotta plan accordingly and be ready for anything. And I get up early, right? Get up very early. I like to have my cup of coffee. I'll still watch part of the A block of the Today Show. I just can't seem to get my tail in gear to get in that Uber fast enough.
You're like,
But I'm getting better. My time is getting better. Yeah.
that I know time is really tough. That's how we are with the kids doing homeschooling. I'm like, what day is it? What time is it?
But see, that's such a good excuse.
I,
I don't have that. Like all I have is me struggling with efficiency. And there is an art. There's definitely an art to New York City efficiency.
Yeah, that's very true. Well, it is, Thomas, it's so great to see you smiling. And I love that your number one fan, like you said, is your mom. She is a
Oh yeah,
person.
she's the Baltimore producer.
Yeah, she
She
loves
is
so much.
Yeah. Well, I think she. I mean, the other day I saw her liking, I think, your post, and I'm like, I didn't even know my mom was on Instagram. I think she joined just to be able to go to this.
Yeah, I'm like, hey, how are you? Yeah, we go back and forth.
Soon she'll be a guest. She's basically Eve Harrington, and she's going to be your guest and get me out of the way.
That'll be awesome. Well, Thomas, thank you so much for taking time. I know you have breaking news to get back to. And
don't forget Aunt Pat. Aunt Pat's probably watching too. Aunt Pat is my mother's sister, and she is just as important. And you'll have to have her on as well, but not together because they have two different riders. Both want orchids in their dressing rooms and white M&Ms, but you cannot have them appear together.
I got to get that diva checklist up. Here we go. Boom.
Yeah. Oh, Titsy says thanks, Marco. There's Aunt Pat. Alan Pat Thomas. That's Aunt Pat. She says yes.
There they are. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll do it. We'll do it. Well, I am so glad you had time to join us today. I know we got pushed from breaking news on Monday, but I'm glad we were able to do it today. And I wish you and the entire crew at Daily Mail TV a successful.
Thank you so much. And everybody that's watching, if you're wondering our time slot, all you have to do is go to dailymailtv.com, put in your zip code, and it's going to tell you where we pop up in your market. So it's really simple. Then set your DVR. Because like right now, I'm watching our episodes on my Xfinity app from my Atlanta box, and in Atlanta we come on WSB I think at like midnight or something.
Oh
so it's like it's a DVR thing, But I'm like a late night show host now, or I'm at 3 o'clock here in New York. So I'm like your early afternoon host. It's like a little bit of everything.
And here in LA, it's on KTLA, and
at 5 o'clock
I DVR it as well.
5 o'clock. KTLA, yes. I got to speak to Sam and Frank Buckley and one other person.
Was it Jessica Holmes?
No. Well, it might have been just Sam and Frank. And there might have been one other person on set, but I don't think I got a chance to speak to her. But KTLA is great. I mean, we have a wonderful slot with them, positioned, I think, in like an island in a ton of news. For their station, yeah.
I used to work there years ago. 10 years ago, I was a reporter there. It's crazy.
Well, I never got hired there. I just did a thing with Jason Ball. He's the news director. Jason.
Yes.
And he wanted to interview me about stuff and about jobs and job loss. And I said, well, you've never hired me, Jason. I've been available several times. It was funny.
Yikes.
No, it was fine. I mean it in a good way. But it was a fun conversation. Anyway, he's a super nice guy. He's been there. I mean, I don't want to say the years, but he has the type of career that a lot of people in our industry don't get to have anymore. Like decades in a certain spot. It's pretty amazing.
Absolutely. Well, gosh, Thomas, let's talk again here on the show. Whenever you have time, I would love to have you, and I appreciate your time today.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. And I'd love to come back anytime you want. And we will make it happen. We will move heaven and earth and whatever we need to do for you, Marco.
You're awesome.
Yeah.
Thomas, thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your day and stay safe.
Thank you. You too. Okay. Thanks everybody for watching.
All right. Bye, Thomas.
All right. Bye-bye.
He is an awesome guy. And I'm hoping you're watching Daily Mail TV. I'm telling you, it has something for everyone. It has entertainment news, it has human interest stories, and of course, with it being an election year, they're talking a little bit of politics. So, again, here in Los Angeles, it's on Channel 5, KTLA, but definitely check the website to find where it's airing in your market. Thank you, as always, for joining me. I'm Marco Gonzalez, and I'll see you next time right here on the couch. Take care.